Belton House has a rich and exciting history built for Sir John Brownlow in the 1680s. Belton House has all the design features of a classic English country home, sitting in formal Italian and Dutch gardens and an historic 1,300-acre deer park. Belton is often cited as the quintessential country house estate. But what we are looking for is buried deep beneath the surface of this picturesque estate. We are the Lest We Forget team, and this year we have become young archaeologists in a bid to find out more about Belton's forgotten gunners.
So on the first ever meeting I ever came to here, I was really scared, really nervous, because none of my friends had got in. We'd all applied together and hoped that we were all going to get onto it, and I was the only one. So I'd never met anyone before. I was really hoping that everyone was going to be from the same school, but they weren't. It was all different schools, all different ages, and that really scared me. But once I got to know everyone, it was fine.
During the first session, I was nervous due to meeting new people because I didn't really know them here, and it was a bit surprising seeing how many people turned up.
I got involved because I'm already a volunteer at Belton House, and Melissa came in one day, it seems like years ago now, but it was probably only last year, to say that there's a project possibly going to happen and would I be interested, and it was going to be to do with the machine gun corps. Well, I love history, military and archaeology, and it's brought it all in together.
I can remember the first meeting really well. I remember walking in and I was absolutely terrified because I knew I was going to be the only one from where I came from because I live an hour away. I remember thinking, I don't know anyone, they're all going to have their own friendship groups. And I was so nervous, but I was really excited to get to know everyone because I thought this is going to be a fantastic opportunity. I've worked with Melissa and Rachel before. I just couldn't wait to join.
So how's the team formed over the year?
Well, right from the start, they worked really well as a team, finding compromises and listening to each other's ideas. And from the logo design, which took 15 minutes, probably would have taken us about 3 months to do, to now where they've formed really close friendships and have just grown and grown in confidence.
100 years ago, the tranquil and scenic parkland of Belton Estate was a very different place. Lord Brownlow had given over a huge area of the park for the war effort, and in 1915 it became home to the tens of thousands of soldiers from the Machine Gun Corps. The Lest We Forget team had been granted permission to conduct an archaeological dig on the site, where the World War I training camp once stood.
I thought one of the most interesting finds was the bottle that Sam found and that he got interviewed on. I just thought that was really it showed how just because it was an army camp, those soldiers still had lives that they had to lead and that they still needed feeding and had to drink. Also the bullet cartridges, I never expected there'd be actual cartridges on the site. I just thought it was a training camp. So to think that they were actually using bullets or drop bullets on the site is kind of fascinating. I only found a piece of glass, but I've actually written about this. It's amazing, because that glass is probably from the windows of one of the barracks. And it's kind of amazing to think that people would have looked into that glass 100 years ago, and that it's kind of their memory is installed in that glass now permanently.
Hi, we're the Lest We Forget Belton's bravest team.
I think the best bit was all the finds. We had quite a lot of trench rivalry going on between the trenches. Obviously there was 3 of us. One was further up towards Belton House on a mystery feature, which proved to be nothing, unfortunately. And one was on the privates and the other ranks barracks further down the field towards Belmont Tower, and another one was situated on the hill with a nice view of Belton House, which was my trench, which was the officers. So we had a ranking system kind of between the trenches and who got what finds. So when we found 700 nails out of 738, our trench was the best.
The geophysics was fun. We had to walk around with the monitors, which beeped every couple of seconds, which kind of is a bit annoying, but you got used to it after a while. The images that we got from the geophysics were really interesting because you could actually see the contours of the land underneath, and from the geophys we overlaid the map of the park and then decided where to dig, seeing how closely the maps were.
One of the best things about the post-excavation was working with the artist James Sutton on creating sculptures. So the idea came about because I was talking to my great-great-uncle about how many nails we discovered, 700 from one trench, which happened to be my trench. And he said, are you going to make a sculpture out of it? So I suggested the idea and the team loved it. So we've created this machine gun made out of all the old nails, which is significant because it's the old nails from the old camp. So it's very moving really to think that those nails actually saw the lives of the men, and now it's remembered in a machine gun to commemorate them really.
The most emotional part of the project for me was when me and Emily met a local author, Julia Damassa, and with her we talked about what the men staying at Belton camp might be feeling, and we looked at some poetry by Clifford Salvucci, and this poetry had been hidden away for about, I don't know, 100 years or so. And it just felt really, really special to read it, and the words that he had written were really special as well, because I think that the troops in World War I were desperate for some sort of, I don't know, enchantment away from everyday life.
So it was really interesting having experts' advice on how to do things, filling context sheets, and just the whole experience really on a whole was fantastic. You wouldn't get it anywhere else.
Yes, and every single day we had experts coming in from different fields of heritage and archaeology and
Nature.
Yeah, and nature and things like that. Telling us about their jobs and what they do and what we would have to do and how to tell stories, and that was really interesting.
Absolutely loved being a mentor for the young people. They're so interesting, they're so confident, and they've been a lovely bunch to work with.
Just their confidence over the last year has increased, and their skills, and they're just awesome. They're so talented. They've learnt so many archaeological skills. They've learnt how to talk to different visitors. They've created remembrance walks and pieces of art, and they are a true credit to the National Trust as volunteers.
So 1, 2.
Hi, we're Lest We Forget Belton's bravest team.
I got confused.
That's really good, I like that one. Okay, 1, 2.
We won't be able to manage. That poem really changed the place for me because can we do this again? The soldier's life are all the same.
From the privates down below to the officers way up high.
Everything is all the same. 100 years on, the start and end are all the same.
Right, you've nearly got it.
This mud is the same mud from 1915. I feel like I'm on an album.
That was the best step.
True. Sorry.
That's alright.
Do you want to try that second
Yeah,
one
so
do
just-
again?
that
yeah.
second one again.
This mud is the same mud from 1915. I was trying to...
You nearly fell over.
Yeah.